Videos of frustrated people unable to fill their cars with fuel have flooded the internet. Prices have increased and there have been supply disruptions in more than 10 regions of Russia. They include the Rostov and Krasnodar regions bordering Ukraine and the Russian-controlled Crimea. The crisis is also affecting parts of central Russia, Urals and the Far East. The government says the lack of fuel is primarily because of seasonal factors, an increase in the flow of tourists traveling by road and agricultural activity. But energy experts point to another important aspect.
It is no secret that Russian oil refineries are constantly attacked by Ukrainian drones. Western countries pretend that this is a normal practice, that Ukraine has the right to do so. This has caused damage to 8 to 10% of the country's processing capacity. It is quite difficult to quickly tackle this problem.
The situation in Crimea is critical. Many fuel stations have closed. Winter crop planting is under threat. In the Far East, the situation has escalated since the Khabarovsk oil refinery went on scheduled repairs. The hardest hit are small retailers who are not part of large chains. Fuel prices have grown significantly too. In the Far East, petrol prices have increased by a record 30% since the beginning of summer. The Russian government closely regulates fuel prices, which analysts say harms market participants. Manufacturers simply have no incentive to increase supplies domestically and prefer receiving revenue from exporting crude oil abroad.
Recently, sea exports of crude oil have been breaking records. We've had the largest deliveries in the last 30 months despite sanctions and a fight against Russia's shadow fleet. There may not be enough capacity to process oil at home, but it is possible to export it. In this way, the state continues to receive revenue. The drone attacks, which were intended to deprive the state of income, have led to the opposite effect.
Analysts say despite all the difficulties, Russia still has enough fuel production capacity to cover domestic demand, calling the situation difficult but manageable. Most affected refineries continue to produce fuel, albeit in reduced volumes. Part of the deficit is being covered by stocks and friendly countries like Belarus.
Meanwhile, Moscow and St. Petersburg have not been affected at all. Authorities do their utmost to prevent a full-scale fuel supply crisis that could disrupt the functioning of the Russian economy and army. According to optimistic forecasts we hear, fuel difficulties will begin to weaken later this October. Yulia, Shapovalova, Al Jazeera, Moscow.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news, expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.